Well, hello, and welcome back to the Captains Quadrant, where we are not interviewing anybody. We're actually hanging out with our friends in the Captains Quadrant. I'm talking about Commander Jace, who is a fan of that toilet soup.
The diplomatic toilet soup.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. We're talking about Navia, our dear friend, who is that girl, Navia. And then we've got Nita, who's got way too many names. So we're going to go right into the show. Let us roll that beautiful bean footage.
The bean footage, did you say?
Sorry, you're Australian. You're fine. I'll get that.
No, I know what bean footage. Is that when you're going to do the synopsis, Captain?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All right.
That's it.
Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 2, Episode 3. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. La'an travels back in time to the 21st century Earth to prevent an attack which will alter humanity's future history. Yay! And we have a special guest that just joined us. He's
just made it.
The original.
Hey,
hello, everyone.
Hi. You're not home, are you?
I am home, actually. I'm just in a different corner of my home today.
Yeah, because I think
because my computer is in pieces right now, and I completely forgot about it. Let me switch the camera so you can't see my bathroom.
Great to have you here, though, mate.
Well, you know what's funny?
It's great to be somewhere. You know what they say, better never than late, or something.
Yeah. Well, since you were mentioning your toilet, nothing like toilet soup.
Plomeek toilet soup.
Yes. And of course, I'd be remiss to our original guest who became a permanent, our beloved Jason Roy Gaston joins us. We just did the synopsis. You didn't miss too much. But
I missed you messing up the synopsis. That's my favorite part.
I don't mess it up anymore because I got proper glasses that I can actually.
Can we just, on the subject of messing up, how consistently wrong our thumbnails are continuing to be?
Yeah, La'an was in it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, barely at all.
Nobody was in it. It's like weird. Yeah, Jace, do you have headphones?
What?
Do you have headphones?
Do you have headphones, mate? We get an echo from you.
I'm getting them right now. Go ahead and mute me real quick. I'll be fixed in about 5 seconds. Or
no worries.
Good. All right.
We're muting him, and he can listen to the next segment, which is an important segment, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah,
Joe?
I think so.
I figure we need to do this first, Joe, because this is the most important thing we're going to talk about tonight.
That's right.
As I told you last week, I was meeting with our Supreme Leader, Teddy.
Yeah.
And he had a few things that he wanted me to talk about in relation to Trek and what he expects from all his loyal, beautiful followers out there. So I've just got a list here, so bear with me as we go through it a little bit. Okay, point 1. Teddy wants to declare that the Great Koala is blasphemous to the Almighty Teddy. Those who choose to believe in the Great Koala are heretics, and they probably smell really, really bad. So that was the first point he had. The second point he wanted to bring up that, in fact, Teddy wants it known that it was him that Cybok was seeking in the final frontier. As we can see. So the evidence is there.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. So thank you, Teddy. We shouldn't have doubted you were in it for a second. Oh, there's Annie. Hi, Annie.
We get all these guests.
Yeah, well, everybody's popping in.
Yeah. If you want to be in the show.
There's just a couple of more points here, guys. Point 3 was Teddy said he was also very sad about the end of Prodigy.
Oh.
But thanks to Paramount for making such a special show. And Teddy hopes it comes back one day, which is great. Aww. But he's also said, if not, a great flood will rise up and perish us all. So you've been warned, Paramount. Okay.
Yeah. There it is.
And then finally, Teddy wants to declare that those who choose to be enlightened and follow Teddy as their supreme leader will be rewarded with yummy snacks and belly rubs, which is
nice.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to a good belly rub. So that was it from Teddy. And, there goes our useless segment again.
Wow.
We better get into actual Star Trek talk at this point, right?
We lose all our audience. Like,
Yeah, we're going to lose everyone. Let's get into it, eh?
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
all right, this is
Sometimes maybe that's the wrong segment.
Oh, we lost Jason. Well,
Yeah, producers on fire tonight, guys. Here we go. This is the real segment.
Thanks. All
Can-
right.
Can I, sorry to interrupt again, I'm just taking over the show tonight.
Aaron,
I was
you're really
asked
on
yesterday.
the lineup. I mean, God.
Yeah, I know. I was asked about that segment bumper and who's the one actually farting. So I choose to think it's ambiguous, and you decide as the audience viewer which one is actually letting out the gas. That's it. I'm shutting up.
I
now.
joined at completely the wrong place.
At the right time.
Oh, hold on. You can see my
I
bathroom
was
again.
gonna say we're back in the toilet, just like the show today in the toilet.
You can't see my toilet. I'm sitting on it.
Yeah. Oh,
That's a great,
somebody's favorite.
that's a great setup you have.
If
When the
you're-
lid is
Gross.
down, it's a chair.
Oh,
I agree.
boy.
And he's got pants all the way
I
off too.
agree.
You can tell.
Well, yeah, that's
Takes his
whenever you
pants
really,
completely off.
that's whenever you're serious about things, is when the pants come completely off.
Poor Rain.
Yeah.
I mean, do any of us really wear pants during the podcast?
Yeah.
No.
All the live views just went to zero. Come on, let's get the show started.
All right, so let us get into our first contact with this episode, and we will start with Commander J, since he's in my spot.
Oh, yes, I am. I'm taking over, like I said. I liked this episode. I didn't love this episode because there were certain scenes in it that didn't quite work for me, but they're nitpicky stuff. Essentially, yeah, I mean, it turned out to be an interesting time travel plot again, but my biggest problem is it just felt like a Star Trek episodes, great Star Trek episodes I've seen before. And I think I probably need to come to an acceptance point that this is what Star Trek's New World is kind of rebooting in a way old Star Trek for the new generation. But overall, I mean, it wasn't horrible to watch. I was laughing. I was into it. Just horrible music choices. But there we go.
Yeah. Oof. And now I'm gonna go with Annie because it looks like she has an ostrich on her lap or something. There was some type of like, they just,
under my hurt foot, but
oh, that's right.
Oh.
Yeah, see, look at it. It was like real fluffy. I was like,
Yeah, it's just like, who's a good boy?
yeah. Oh, we got one of the kittens.
Oh, is that murder bean?
This is murder bean because there's no tail.
Oh,
Oh.
murder bean.
See, but we don't see that side of the cat.
Yeah.
So.
She's so tough, she took it off and stabbed it with someone.
That's right. She used it to throttle somebody, Clue style.
Yeah. The fun thing that happened to me on the way to home today was I got a phone call from our number one fan, Cosmic Mom, and and
Cosmic
she was like,
Mom.
"Yeah," and she's in here. So what's up? Yes, she was like, can you send me the link for the show? I'm like, Mom, I'm not even home yet. Like, it's gonna be another hour or two. So, Mom, be patient. I'll always send you the link. You don't have to worry.
Okay.
So, Jason, we've got all. So, since we're having the cat show, we might as well have your thoughts on the episode.
Okay, here we go.
I think we're gonna agree
I
with you.
didn't like it.
Same.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it was bad.
I didn't think it was.
I'm
It's
sorry.
Agony Booth.
It's bad. It was bad. It was all bad. I don't really want to go into too many details why I thought it was bad, but I felt no stakes, and I think that La'an was not given the best supporting cast this week.
Yeah,
And I will leave it right there for
We'll get
now.
into that. We'll get- for
Okay,
sure.
beautiful. I love that.
All right, yeah, some dissent in amongst the group. Navia.
So I was expecting the usual pew pew in space, but we got rom-com and Star Trek, and I was kind of here for it. It was enemies to lover trope. This is the type of books I love to read, so I was really here for it. And I like how this episode could have aired on the Hallmark Channel because some of the music was interesting. Some of it was interesting. Am I wrong? 100%.
No, you're 100%. 100%.
That chess montage scene. Oh.
All right, Admiral Annie.
I actually liked this episode. I thought this was funny. The script, there were some moments of humor, and I thought that there were, at least for my funny bone, I guess, I felt like it was hilarious. I was laughing a lot during this episode. And while I'm still getting used to Paul Wesley as James T. Kirk, I kind of enjoyed it. I liked his portrayal. I feel like everyone kind of brings their own spin to James T. We got what's his name? Not
Pine.
Hemsworth, but
Chris Pine.
Pine. Yeah, Chris Pine. We got Chris Pine's James T, and we got Shatner's James T, and now we got Paul Wesley's James T. And I thought it was funny that they earned money doing chess because at first, he kind of turns to La'an and he's like, all right, like what marketable skills do you have? And I thought for some reason he was going to make some sex worker joke or something. And I was ready to throw something at the TV. And then it was like, oh, chess. And I was like, I'm here for it. Okay. So I just kind of went with the flow with this episode and I actually had fun with it. So I liked it.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I also felt like he was going to pole dance, just like my Saturday co-host. I'm plugging for Shedding Light to talk about Marvel. If you wake up really early in the morning, when you get older, that's what we do as men. And I just decided, hey, Brandon, let's just do the show at 8:30 in the morning. We're both in our 40s. We're up anyway. So let's just go ahead and talk Marvel at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday. Nita, your first contact.
I actually, like Annie, I enjoyed this episode a lot. I really like the fact that we got an insight on Lan's past, or her heritage, I should say, because she came face to face with the person, the man, that or the child that would be the man that would give her such a hard time because of her name. That legacy that he ends up creating. And, she had that choice at that point. She had a gun, totally could have killed him, but, she didn't and didn't change history. And she managed to fix the timeline. I thought it was really good. I thought that it really focused on her past a lot. And I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the episode. It wasn't perfect, but good.
Yeah. All right, and that will take us to me. I thought it was meh at best. I thought this is probably going to be the one that we look back at and go, eh. And I think that's probably because the last episode was so deep, so strong. It brought new characters that I really like. I ended up following the actress that played the lawyer last week.
Yeah, me too.
Because she was so badass. And I saw a little bit of negative comments because I followed somebody that found the negative comments and it made me very upset. So a lot of love to you, Yuta. She killed that role. And I ended up watching that again.
Out of the park. She did.
Yeah, she really hit it out of the park. And that episode was amazing. So it was just hard to, I guess it was a hard follow-up, even with tropey returns of tropey characters. And we'll get into that in pros and cons. And my good man, make it so.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Here we go. This is the segment where we jump into the maybe good or maybe shit. We're going to start with Jason Roy Gaston this time because I probably will agree with everything you said this week.
Gonna let him unload.
Unload. Fire at will.
Well, it's a good thing I'm sitting in my bathroom. Okay. So the story was uninspiring, although there were moments of genuine humor. I found it just, as you said, it was tropey. And then in addition to the time travel tropes, they threw in the rom-com tropes, which I just love romantic comedy.
I do
Paul Wesley
Jersey boy.
he's not good. I'm sorry, he's not. I gave him a chance. I thought, well, the first time he played Kirk, maybe he's a little nervous. Maybe he'll grow into the role. He didn't. He's almost the antithesis of Kirk, because Kirk was always bombastic and hammy, and you saw that with Shatner and you saw that with Pine. And I know that Paul Wesley is not Shatner or Pine, but he's also not Kirk as far as I'm concerned, because he's very stiff and he's very wooden, and I can't get Jim Carrey out of my head every time he plays Kirk. I just keep expecting him to go, Smokey! Or just, to start speaking with his butt, like, Captain's log, coming out any minute now. I don't know, he's just not working for me. I felt that the story had no real stakes. It was, oh yeah, something blew up, now we have to save the future. And then the Romulan girl shows up and says, yeah, it was me the whole time.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? It was just boring. As a pro, though, I can't believe I'm saying this after 57 years of Star Trek. Why is it only just now we finally got a South Asian to play Khan?
True that.
Why only now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think as far as La'an going towards her heritage, I wanted more. I wanted more from that instead of, well, you're just a child. I'll live with it. Well, at least now I won't mess up history, and then disappears right in front of the kid.
Yeah, when that kid goes,
the kid is like, well, I was going to be an innocent boy. Now I think I'm going to commit genocide.
I will, so I can just make people disappear.
I will say, though, I enjoyed the way that they're kind of playing with the whole idea that the reason why continuity about the eugenics war is messed up is because of the temporal wars. That it keeps getting pushed back and time keeps fighting back. Because not only is that a clever way to say, well, yeah, this is why everything's messed up. The Romulan said this was supposed to take place in 1992. When we first meet Khan, he says that it took place in 1996. So there were shenanigans even before the original series. I don't know. I like that. I like that they're kind of giving a middle finger to everybody who keeps saying continuity is important. There's nothing more important than continuity, and saying, yeah, it's fine. It's the temporal wars. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So those are my pros and cons. Back to you.
Back to you. All right, Navia, your pros and cons.
My pros, I like how this episode took place in Vancouver. I think that's very cool, because usually they shoot in Vancouver, but then they always say, it's somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what happened?
No, Chase popped off again. I said,
No, go, Navia, go.
Yeah, I really like that. I do like this characterization of Kirk, but it's like non-Kirk. I like him as non-Kirk. Like, as Kirk, not here for it, but as a separate character, I absolutely love his character. And then I like the twist with Baby Khan. I thought that was very cute. I don't know what that can do.
Baby Khan, Baby Khan, Baby Khan. Sorry, go ahead.
And my con was the Romulan spy. I was not here for it. Someone point out, I was watching a video and they're talking about New Trek loves their Romulan spies, and I think that's true. I think every show, a New Trek has had a Romulan spy.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
For me, I was very meh for the whole thing. I did love the explosion. That was really cool. Like, they blew that bridge up straight to hell. No, but I really enjoyed the car chase because my boss has that car, and I was like, oh, nice. My boss's car. So it was really nice to see that on TV. What else? Oh, there's a hand attacking Jace. First he gets carjacked, now he gets slapped on live stream. Share with your friends, family. Our co-host got slapped. I really let me go with the pros. The pros were, I love the temporal storyline. Seeing the temporal guys, especially since we just interviewed Mark Cartier from the Shuttle Pod show, who works with the Enterprise guys. I thought that was a nice touch, but they had a moment and they messed it up a little bit by making it a Romulan spy and not a Suliban spy. It would have been so dope if they would have just thrown into that whole connection and just made something, because we got shafted on a full 7 series for 7 seasons of Enterprise, and it would have been dope if they would have done that, and they would have been Suliban. That's me being a nitpick.
I agree. That would have been great.
It would have been great. It would have been great. I did like the temporal agent, and there's a shroud of mystery around it, but I have a feeling this is going to be a one and done, and we're never going to touch this storyline again.
I don't mean to interrupt, but
you're
did you notice the really cool bit of continuity whenever he took out his future tricorder and it had the readout? The readout is identical to the readouts on the time ship Aeon from Star Trek Voyager.
Oh,
yeah,
very
so
cool.
it's
So
a
now
great
I
bit
gotta
of
go watch
continuity.
that. Yeah, I got to go watch that.
Nice.
Yeah, it would have been dope if that would have been the villain. It would have been cool because they can dive into something that we really don't know too much about with the Suliban. It never really got fleshed out, I believe. And they would have had an opportunity to kind of retcon some things, which would have been cool. Kirk is so my lady came and watched this episode with me. And when she sat down, she went, "Oh, Wesley." And I'm like, "Who?" "No, it's Captain Kirk." Disrespectful. She's like, "No, it's Wesley." And I'm like, "Okay." And she sat and watched the whole episode with me. And I'm like, "So why did you watch? Well, you never watched Star Trek?" She's like, "Well, the one time I watched it, this guy was about to die." And she's talking about Riker from Picard because they were going in that abyss. And it was very emotional and it was very hard to watch. So, and I was just thinking about you going because you were a fake captain.
Aw.
And I'm like, "Oh, well, don't worry, I'm not a real captain. We'd be screwed if they had to send me anywhere." so she's like, "Okay, but now Wesley's here." So that's why I'm sitting here watching. And I'm like, "Who's Wes?" So she told me he's from the Vampire Diaries. And he's from a local. He's a Jersey boy. So he got a level up for being a neighbor. I don't know. It's probably not a good thing to judge him by where you live. But I just thought there was some missed opportunities, and I felt like it could have gone another direction, and the direction it went kind of fell flat. It would also have been cool, though I did enjoy the casting choice for Khan. It would have been cool if he was a little older, or if they put like a Ricardo Montalban de-aging on somebody else's body. It would have been kind of fun. Like, something Star Wars-esque, like when they found Princess Leia at the end. So I thought that would have been great. And my other pro would be it ended. No, I really like what an easy payday Anson Mount and the rest of the cast got, because there's just a lot of look back just in the last episode. I just who, what, oh, hey, what's going on, why are you wearing those clothes? It was just like,
you gotta cut Anson a break. He had just had a baby girl whenever he was filming. So the first episode and this episode was giving him time off to be with his brand new baby because Captain Daddy became a daddy.
Oh, okay. Inside intel. That's amazing. All right, Commander Jace, your pros and cons.
As a storytelling model for this episode, it's 3 acts. You have a beginning, middle, and end. The only thing that works for me is the end. The third act is solid and it saves the rest of it because I like the temporal storyline. I did like the idea of it's a conflict of, why should I help you? My universe is going to be erased. I'm better off hanging out eating hot dogs. I like that kind of element. As for Kirk, it's the problem is every time you watch this version of Kirk, you're still reminded of previous Kirks. I wonder, maybe as we keep getting him moving forward, we'll get a Kirk that we may enjoy, but it is a rocky start. The romantic comedy element, I see why you're kind of infusing it. The problem is you went with the 90s romantic comedy model, where we've got montages, we've got romantic music, we've got that standing in the hallway, staring at someone but not catching their eye. Come on. There is smarter ways to write this. And they have smart writers there that are capable of writing really good stuff. So I thought that was kind of took me out of it. But I was watching it with my wife and she was getting into it too. So I have a feeling this is a boy-girl kind of
that's what I'm feeling.
Separation thing with this episode. So, Leanne, I got to say, the actress who plays Lan, I like her. But she is perpetually always unhappy. And I know that's apparently part of her actor. But if you want me to go, oh, she is falling for different Kirk,
That's
then
why she had that man cry at the end.
Yeah, the man cry, but how about smiling just once in the episode might have helped.
That man
So
cry.
everything deadpanned.
Yeah.
I am uncomfortable with this scene with Khan at the end.
Oh.
I'm uncomfortable because I know it may seem morally right from a storytelling perspective to have it that way, but it's more complex than that. And I think you could have had her standing in the hallway, drop the gun, turn around and leave. That would have been my choice. But to her to go down and put her arm around it is basically in some way. I don't think that's the right type of messaging for that. It's kind of like, it'll be all
like
right, kid. I look forward to you to do mass murder. Good on you.
Yeah.
It's like going to kill Hitler as a baby and giving him a kiss on the forehead instead. I mean,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's kind of how it felt.
Yeah.
But the temporal stuff really works for me.
Yeah.
Because I feel, like Jason said, it's them trying to say, whatever about continuity. But I think it does kind of help them give a blanket response. I like the idea that I hope we get to see more of this temporal police as such. We call them time cops. Sorry, Jean-Claude. So I want to see the time cops a lot more. Because I think there's something interesting there. Because I think this should be a Star Trek show with the time cops trying to fix all the stuff ups in the timelines from all the time they've done time travel stories in all these Star Trek episodes.
Exactly.
I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, I
but
want them to come to season 2 of Picard. Just stuff out the whole season. No, stop.
okay, that chess scene, that was like I almost puked. I was that rudimentarily shot and put together from a montage, just like whatever. The other thing I really did not like is that car chase scene. It's a bad car chase scene.
I like that car. That's my boss.
There are times where I'm going, I think I could run faster that car. They didn't shoot. It didn't look fast. It didn't look interesting. They get massive props because we actually get to see future Canada, which is nice. Canada, well, they kind of hint that Canada doesn't exist in the future, but in that moment of time, Canada still exists. So,
Right.
Because remember when they're in this square, and she goes, "Oh, well, it's Vancouver." Well, when it was still Canada, I think she says. So,
Yeah.
So watch out, Canada. Not looking good.
No.
Yeah, but it's so great to have it out of the US. Sorry, guys. Sorry, but it's nice to have
that was
Star Trek in a different country.
That's fine with me. There's a whole planet of places to go to. You don't have to keep going to San Francisco or New York.
Right?
Leave New York alone.
I do think it was great that they gave the United States an out that Khan did not come from the United States. Khan was all Canada's
That's an
fault.
American thing to write.
So there you go.
There you go.
Yes.
Khan from Canada.
Blame Canada, blame Canada.
Because the dictator arrives now, the world is gonna fry. Blame Canada.
And the only other thing I was going to say, now I've gone blank. It was a really good point too. I've gone blank. I forget it now. I'm done. I'll remember it later and just interrupt someone else.
Oh, okay. Good thing I'm finished already because I got interrupted enough of this show. Annie, go ahead.
Okay, cons. I actually didn't. So
Con.
knowing how unhappy La'an is all the time, and I think part of that is her job as the security person. I feel like in order to be an effective security officer, you kind of have to be a little serious and somber. But yeah, I mean, talk about like kicking a girl when she's down. I mean, geez, like she has this tough life and then she goes back, she meets like her genocidal ancestor or whatever. And then when she comes back and she's got like all these feels, the temporal agent's like, yeah, you can't talk to anybody about this. Even Pike, like nobody, like you can't talk to anybody. Like girl needs some therapy or something. Like, damn. So that I understand why they don't want people to talk about it, but I'm like, duh, no, like they need to talk about that. Like that's a problem. Pros, or well, I'm going to continue with cons. I also wasn't a fan of the. I was
The love
not a fan
story?
of
Oh,
the
sorry.
Romulan.
The Romulan, yeah, my buddy. Right, it should have been a Suliban.
It should have been a Suliban or something. I don't know. Like I just feel
Suliban.
like the Romulans weren't like interested in Earth at that time. Like it felt very like out of left field to make it about the Romulans when I don't even know why they picked the Romulans really, other than to just use the Romulans, you know? I don't know. So
what are the Romulans doing lately? I don't know. Put them in this episode.
yeah, throw them in there. Sure, you know, like okay. So that felt very weird and like it didn't really match up. But like I said, I really liked the humor of this episode. For whatever reason, I thought this episode was like the funniest. So I was laughing a lot. Like just the little one-liners, like, dude, no one calls your brother George. Like everyone calls him Sam. Like, dude, I learned how to make plum-week soup in the toilet. Like, I don't just like these random things where I was just like, are you serious? Like that? Okay, for whatever reason, like I just found that hysterical. And it was nice to get a La'an-centered episode. I really liked that. Even, I mean, I feel like Chrissy Chang, the actress, I think she does a great job, and I enjoy watching her on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
And I was glad to get a little backstory, even if it was kind of like distant past backstory, because we did get like kind of her backstory during the Gorn episode, when we had the flashbacks during the mind melds and stuff that.
Yeah. That was cool. Yeah, good point.
It was super cool. But yeah, the scene with Khan felt strange. Like I feel like even if you were able to overcome all of that negativity that you faced like your whole life, I feel like you wouldn't go like, you're just a kid, it's okay. Like, and like pet him. Like, I don't know, that was kind of weird for me, but I liked that she kind of basically faced her fear, you know, and kind of confronted this thing that had been haunting her whole life. I enjoyed that part of it. So those are my pros.
All right. Thank you. And before I go to Navia, you know,
Nope. Nita.
To Nita, Joe.
I froze for a second. I was like, wait, I just like, oh yeah, sorry.
We're twinsies. It's okay.
Yeah. But how about that fight between apparently our resident doctor and ass kicker, Mbenga and La'an?
Yeah.
That was a great scene. Like
that was pro for sure.
The reason why I wanted to go towards Nita on this is because I got to ask you, Nita, were those another version of Batless hanging in the background? Because they were.
Yeah, they were. Definitely
right?
Klingon-like weapons in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that they're necessarily Batleth-like or actually Klingon, but they're definitely Klingon-inspired. Only because at this point in Star Trek history, Klingons and the Federations are not allies.
Cool. Yeah.
So not being allies, I'm not sure how they would display contraband so freely. But I think that they're definitely similar weapons. They look very much like something like samurai or swordplay type
maybe
weapons.
like ancient versions of
ancient kind of weapons. Yeah, definitely.
I thought that was cool. I thought you would appreciate it.
The first thing I saw were the weapons. Do you understand that I rewound that scene like 4 times because I kept paying attention to the weapons and completely forgot. I was like, wait, why did he say that? How did she get to the floor? Wait, what? I had to keep going back. I had to keep going back. I was in the weapons. But the fighting scene was exceptional. Definitely was he definitely used an amazing form of like Aikido or kata, of karate, kata in a karate style.
Not
because definitely used her own impulse towards him, her anger, her rage, and totally used it against her and knocked her out. And that's why she was so surprised, because her move was supposed to knock him out technically. But because he did that little Aikido move on her, that was beautiful. Absolutely my favorite part. I really did like that the episode was focused on Lan's past. As far as cons go, We need to go back to Khan. Everybody know my favorite movie. One of my favorite episodes of the TOS era is with Khan. Is the Wrath of Khan.
And space.
So I was looking when she went in there. The little sign Khan. I thought he would be in some sort of stasis pod. And she would have a crisis of and think, well, do I turn him off? But when I saw that it was an actual child, I said, well, is she going to point the gun at him? At least have that kind of moment of what do I do? But she went in there and it almost seemed like she had resolved herself not to kill this child. And technically killing the child wasn't going to help anything, because if you listen to what the temporal agent said, it would have changed the timeline. Yeah. Historically, what the agent said was, without this kid, you don't get all the tragedy and war that leads to enlightenment. Did they need the Romulan? No. Could we please leave the Romulan in Romulus?
Mm-hmm.
The Suliban, I am with my Captain Joe. The Suliban should have been the one in place at that moment.
It would have been
It would have been a completely different moment. It would have solidified. It would have solidified Star Trek Enterprise's
hey, Admiral.
moment.
Yeah.
With that
and
whole,
especially because we had Mark on from the Shuttle Pod shows connected to the Enterprise guys. It would have been such synergy.
Totally.
I should call Paramount.
They screwed that up for us, didn't they?
Yeah. Don't you know what we're doing?
Yes, but it was very. I didn't think they need to do the love scene. One thing that confused me, that I need to put a question out there, because I didn't get a chance to do the research, and this is a genuine question, guys. What confused me at the end when she called Kirk, that he identified himself as Lieutenant Kirk. Wasn't he Captain?
No.
Kirk in the other episode?
No,
he was Lieutenant.
Well, that was an alternate timeline.
That was also an alternate timeline, yeah. So the one that we saw is what if Pike doesn't end up in the chair?
No, not in the beginning.
No, we're talking about the whole episode from last season.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
So
he's a lieutenant.
Yeah, he was Lieutenant Kirk. He wasn't
in the other timeline. He was a
That's
captain.
why they're getting away with Paul Weasley being Kirk.
Wesley, and he. Well, I think that his character will eventually develop into the Kirk we know. But I think that we don't have the Kirk we know just yet. I think he needs time to get into that, because I think he doesn't have Spock. He doesn't have McCoy. He doesn't have the influences that personally I think lead to his characterization of the Kirk we know. I could be wrong. Maybe he's just not the right actor for it. I have seen him in a lot of things. Is kind of wooded. I would agree with that. He does need to kind of loosen up.
He's a Star Trek Ben Affleck. Is that what you're saying?
He is
Academy Award-winning director.
Yeah, director. That's what he should do. Direct.
He needs to loosen up a little bit. But it doesn't mean he won't get there. I just think that I think that we may not have the time, since we no longer have 22 episodes like before.
Yeah, that's true.
In the meantime, I'm going to really enjoy screaming, "Shut up, Wesley!" every time he shows up.
No, but the big problem there, he doesn't have the core attributes of the other version of Kirk. That's the big problem. And if we're saying, because he hasn't become Kirk yet, people don't change that much. So if they're trying to say this version of Kirk evolves into another version,
it's just like Pokemon. You start off with Pikachu, and then you do enough berries, and you do enough time.
Did you guys see?
That's for my Pokemon peeps.
Did you guys see the interview with the Ready Room? He actually talked about that, and that's what he says, that he's not quite the Kirk that people know. That he's getting there. And I'm like, I understand his theory. I get it, but you don't got 22 episodes, Poppy. You need to hurry up.
Well, here's the thing, right? So if you watch Star Trek 2009, the kid that's playing Kirk, right,
Chris Pine,
has the same core attributes as Chris Pine playing Kirk. And so this problem is this growing up version of Kirk doesn't have the same core attributes as a future Kirk. So I just think there's an inherent writing fail there.
I don't know. Is it because he hasn't been under Captain Pike's wing yet? because
he isn't written correctly. It comes down to what's on the page.
but both
Yep.
versions of Kirk were in outer timeline episodes. So anytime Kirk's there, it's out Kirk. It's not Kirk. It's like
Well, then you're doing a disservice.
Then
Because if-
at the end of the episode, we do see real Kirk. You want to know what he's about? What he's like? Hi, it's me. I'm Captain Kirk. Can I help you
You
with
want
my
me?
never-ending facial expression?
I'm Batman.
How may I help you? Welcome to Duloc. What a perfect town.
Wow.
Can I just say though, that is not. I am not personally attacking that actor. That actor.
No.
I haven't seen enough of his
That's
work.
a homie, 'cause
My
he's a
attack
good
is in the writing, purely how they're writing that character.
Yeah, I think that because I've seen him in other work, I think he does really well. And I think he grows into his characters really, really nicely. But shows like, Vampire Diaries and Everwood, those shows had 22, 24 episodes.
Yeah.
This doesn't. My concern is, does he have the time he thinks he has to grow into the character and develop it in the way that he wishes to? I don't think he does, but I'm not an actor. I don't know.
But maybe we've got a situation where all of a sudden Kirk is, Spock's going off with his brother and he doesn't want to talk about it. Kirk's got to come in as the lieutenant to take Spock's part. Something happens. Una gets yanked. And then Kirk is your
Joe's trying to
commander.
fix it.
I
You can't
am,
fix
you know.
this, dude.
And
You
then
know
they-
who we need
then
to
they put the
ask?
Sulu on.
Let's ask the great Teddy. Teddy,
Yeah.
are they doing a good job with Kirk? Yeah, correct. No, they're not.
What does
gets it.
God need with some Nami dog trees?
You're supposed to bring me snacky snacks. What are you doing?
No, he didn't say he will have them. He's going to share them with his beautiful followers.
Yeah, there you go.
And belly rubs. Don't forget the belly rubs.
Get those belly rubs. All right,
It's all about belly
ladies
rubs.
and gentlemen, let us.
The last one showed up.
Oh,
He's
there you go.
confused. He's like, what are you
The
doing?
circle is complete.
There we go.
Yes.
We have all the kitties. Let us go to the comments. What are people saying? Say hello. Say hello. Nita.
We
Yes.
have a lot of comments. Everyone has said hello, so we're gonna skip the hellos. because we
Yeah,
have
we'll
got
skip
a
the hello
lot
part.
going on here.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Let's see. Well, Sarah says, heck, I need to talk about it. I'm sure La'an needs therapy.
Yes.
I agree. Why can't they send her a temporal therapy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. That's a good
Hook
point.
her up.
And it's probably you would need them.
Yeah.
For
You
real.
would need them. Yeah.
That would be an
know?
interesting way to get Dr. Phlox onto the show. It's just, oh, yes, I'm also a part-time temporal therapist.
That'd
Don't
be
tell
so
Captain Archer.
cool.
That would be amazing. Paramount, come on.
Come on, we're giving you
Oh,
gold here.
Philip makes a really good and interesting point.
Who?
This is possible. He says Mamenga fought the Klingons and may have kept
Oh.
monuments to
Mementos.
mementos.
Death trophies.
Yes.
Mementos, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Death
Good
trophies.
point. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay, and he also says that the actor is a black belt Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
That
He
is
is,
correct.
yes.
Yep.
And he
That's
Yes,
showed,
he is.
he showed that in
He-
June as well.
During the first episode, he did not use a stunt double. That was all him.
Wow.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Bad
Yeah.
actory includes.
He
Pretty cool.
is a doctor. He can patch you up after he kicks your ass.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And he could stick your kids in the teleporter.
Yeah, that's right. And then he
Yeah.
gets start playing alimony.
Hey man, sounds like a good
Move on.
babysitter to me.
Yeah.
For real. Now, Claudia has an interesting point. She says, me too, I like him. He has less swagger, but he feels like a
It's a
choice.
Yeah. It's his
Okay,
choice to
so-
play it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think she might be right. We have.
I don't know if he's got
Daniel
enough sway to be able to go in and go, I'm choosing to play the actor that way. He's being directed to play it that way.
here. Now, Chris, the Admiral's Funniest Frontier says that Chris Pine is his favorite Captain Kirk.
I like that version of Captain Kirk very
Yeah.
much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He does not get enough positive
Yeah,
word.
love.
So yeah,
And I think
Chris
his
Pine is great.
finest, performance was, and in my favourite Star Trek Kelvin one, Star Trek Beyond. I thought he was
Yes.
magnificent in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. What
Yeah.
else we got?
We've got a lot here.
You can do it. I believe in
We
you.
can do the best of.
Yeah, let's do the best stuff. Pick your
Exactly.
favorite.
And then it said, see, Claudia agrees, temporal therapist.
Okay, that's not your favorite. It's the best of.
Yeah.
Where was your brother born? I heard. What was the time? Was that right? I thought that's a great time.
That was
I
a nice
about to do
moment.
That one.
Yeah.
Thank
That
you.
was great.
Hey, that was a nice moment where he realized that his brother was still alive in the other time.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that was that little moment.
I think
good.
that was that's why you kind of gave it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Mhm.
All right. Let's roll into the next.
Oh, I reckon it's time to pirate.
Fight it well.
He
I like
enjoys
these
that so
fuckers.
much.
Those are
I
so
love
fun.
that.
It's so fun.
Hey, look, I think we just pull the Band-Aid off here and let's address the Prodigy cancellation.
Yes.
I think we
Oh,
need
yeah.
to address it straight off the bat, don't you? I am going to put a hot take out there. I think Paramount made the right decision.
I agree.
And I'll
They
tell
what?
you why. I'll tell you why they made the right decision.
Yeah, I want to know why.
Not from a storytelling perspective. I love Prodigy. I think it needs to continue. But Paramount have been hemorrhaging money on a massive scale with streaming services. They can't sustain this. So it's the kind of thing where sometimes you've got to cut off a leg to save the human. And I think what's happened is they've looked at studios like Sony Pictures. Look at Sony Pictures. They're about one of the only studios who don't own a streaming service. But what are they doing? They're selling all their content to all these other streaming services at a high content and making bank. Paramount is clearly seeing this and going, we need to reverse the sledge, reverse this trend. And I think it is. It's going to hurt a little bit but for the viability of the entire franchise going forward. You know, they made a choice which they felt right. Am I happy about it? No. I love Prodigy. I fell in love with it. I was late to the party. This guy's kind of brought me in on
We
it.
told you what you doing.
And it's a great show. And I'm hoping it will get a breath, but it'll take them to be financially viable again in that before they're going to spend any more money.
And something people need to also understand is that Prodigy is not under Paramount; it's under Nickelodeon.
It's still co-financed.
It's still
Yeah.
co-financed. I
Yeah.
get that, but they didn't take out a Paramount owned show, but a kind of a co-owned show.
They had a divorce and they got joint custody.
Well, but
Exactly,
the only
makes
difference
sense.
is
Custody.
if Nickelodeon decided to cancel it, it still would have existed.
Yeah. Exactly.
That would be my only comment on that one. But Prodigy, it's an amazing show. You know what I loved about that show the most,
Fantastic show.
though? Is they never dumbed it down. It was aimed for kids,
Yeah,
but
agreed.
they never dumbed down the intellectuals on it.
Yeah,
It was
and I feel
wonderful.
sad because my nephew is one of the ones who watched it, and he's won't get the benefit of learning more through an animation about Star Trek.
Like Jay said, they're going to shop around and it's going to get a new home, and this is going to be great for Paramount because the intellectual property is going to exist somewhere else, so it can continue, and they're going to make money off of it because it's like, hey, I'm going to lend you my car, but you got to pay me while you borrow my car. You know, and it's that
You
type
could-
of
Like a rental.
Streaming service to pick it up. What streaming service would you pick for it to-
Amazon. I think
No.
Amazon is the logical choice because they were
Yeah.
carrying Picard and Discovery internationally. The thing that makes me upsetty spaghetti about this entire ordeal
spaghetti.
is it's not that the show was canceled. Things get canceled all the time, and I'm fine with that. They have a second season. It's like 80% done.
Right.
What makes me upset is the fact that Paramount yanked it from streaming altogether.
That is odd.
I am not a fan of the business model in which they yank shows off of streaming to save a few dollars because they don't want to pay actors royalties.
Yeah,
Mm.
and that's why they
hate
do
that.
it. That's
That
horrible.
happened to another show that I love called Final Space, which was an amazing
Yeah, it was.
animated
Great
program
show.
from Olin Rogers. You can't find it anymore because HBO
Gone.
decided, we don't want to pay residuals anymore. They yanked it completely off streaming and they wrote it off on taxes, so it'll probably never see the light of day again.
Can I
And
say that
I
in
think
Australia
I
we
am-
still have it on streaming?
Time for you to go to the land down under.
Or invest in a VPN, which you should totally not do
Yeah, you should totally
Right.
not do that.
Should totally not get a VPN so you can watch Final Space from Australia on Netflix, where it's available right now.
And Prodigy on
And
Paramount.
Prodigy. Yes.
You can watch it down there.
Yeah, it's right now. I could watch it right now on Paramount
wow,
streaming
that's
service.
That's some booze.
So that makes it even more weirder to me because then there's obviously, there's deals that they've been signed, obviously, but that doesn't make sense. It's all under one company. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
who
I'm
knows?
just not a big fan. I just see this as a very unethical business practice, personally,
No,
and I'm not a fan.
Yeah, me neither. I think
Well-
that it's about not paying residuals to the actors.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I'm
I'm gonna
100%.
I'm gonna propose something to the group. Do you guys remember that show Futurama and Family Guy? Do you remember what happened?
No,
with that?
I've never heard of Family Guy.
They both got canceled, and then people band together, started petitions. Sound familiar? Got
Yes.
on Twitter. Sound familiar? And they riled up everybody they could.
Again,
And those
big
got
flaw
brought
in that argument, though, Joe, is both those companies that they wanted to get the show to pick up, Fox, well, both times it was Fox, very financially sustainable. Paramount
That's
are
because they have an
not.
evil news dictator from
But
Australia.
they don't have the money, Joe. Like, it's as simple as that. Paramount can't, by their accountants are saying we can't afford it.
No, I know
Keep
that.
it
But I'm
going.
saying, like, think about it. They've like started this stir of drumming for the show, and whoever picks it up is going to have this following. So they may get money back and not have to be in control or pay any of the animators and everything like that. It's almost like a win-win in the long run. So I
Well,
My
there
are- I
conspiracy
want it back.
spider sense has been tingling about this. Like, what if it was a gigantic conspiracy to drum up more interest in Prodigy? Say we're going to cancel it, get everybody mad, get everybody signing petitions, and then we heard you, it's back, and look, here's the second season.
Yeah.
Good one. I never even thought of that.
Well,
I
look,
would be
that's not
fine
a
with
bad strategy,
That isn't a bad
actually.
strategy either. That would be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, because we all want Prodigy to go forever, right? We
Yeah,
want this
I want
show,
at
and we
least
want it to keep going. We love the characters. We love the story.
I want to see animated Tupac.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yes.
I want to see
And
Captain
they'll
Harry
never
Kim.
find
Neelix.
Chipotle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they
Oh,
need to
no,
find
Neelix. We can
Chipotle.
leave him
No, they don't.
back
No, I
there.
don't need to find Dakota.
They don't.
I want
It's fine.
animated salamanders.
Listen, I am not crazy
I
about
wanna
the
send him in-
actor that plays Chakotay, but the character, we need to find
Can you
them.
imagine if
can't
they
leave
were the
them.
ones behind everything, the two salamander babies? They're like, we got these people because you left us, mom and dad.
It's been a giant.
I love it.
I've got all these writing skills. No. Navia and Annie, you guys want to say anything?
I just gonna say
No.
there's a petition out there for,
You were saying something.
for
What'd you say?
Prodigy.
Huh?
There's
About
a
Prodigy.
petition out there for Prodigy that you can sign.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we've all signed it, I believe.
Yeah, I signed it. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
I did.
I signed it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
for sure there is support for the show.
Yeah.
So if you go with Jason's plan of Ultimate Conspiracy, or if you go with Joe's plan of I'm gonna pimp this shit out, you get a Prodigy in the long run.
I just think it's very hopeful and it's wonderful, but I don't want to be pessimistic. I just think if that happens, it's about a 3-year process. Just knowing how the business works, like.
All right, Negative Nancy, let's roll into the next
So-
segment.
I'm being a realist. I love Prodigy. And look at this. I'm throwing to a commercial.
The Star Trek Super Phaser 2 target game uses one 9-volt and 2 penlight batteries, not included. It signals when you hit the target reflector badge. You can hang the target almost anywhere. Flash the phaser. It's a silent beam of light that signals when you score a hit on the target.
You missed! I hit it! I hit the target!
The Star Trek Super Phaser 2 target game includes phaser and target reflector badge from Mego.
Wow,
I won that one.
Amazing. He has one. I've got
Double.
one here.
Is that the game? No, that's the
No, that's the
no,
new
that's the
Playmates.
same one I got from Playmates. Yeah,
Yeah.
I found it
I
on
want that
sale.
game.
Nice.
I got mine on sale too.
Yeah. See, that film did age a little bit, though. I think commercial.
Yeah, it was.
Someone left a negative out for a little while.
Yeah. You guys know what phonic yellowing is? That's it.
There you go.
There it is. All right, Commander.
So we move on. We got.
move on.
Sorry,
Do
go
any
on.
of you guys remember
Nope.
that commercial?
So let's move on to our next segment.
Oh, she was asking a question.
I'm just-
No,
How
I
old do you
don't,
think
but
we
I found
are?
it.
I can't. You froze. What'd you say? in the middle of my joke.
He doesn't gonna beat you up.
I think we'll just move on. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everyone.
Boom, my joke hit that.
We actually have a brand new segment this week, and it's something we introduced. Very proud about this. So we're going to get into this one. It's time we celebrate another awesome Star Trek fan. All right, here we are. So what this segment is about, we have a lot of wonderful fans out there who love Star Trek as much as we do, guys. And I thought, what a great opportunity on this show is to start highlighting some of those super cool people. And so if you haven't heard of them, you'll be able to connect with them. So for our inaugural awesome Star Trek fan who we think not only exemplifies what a great Star Trek fan is, but they put back into the community it's Star Trek Guy. That's Star Trek Guy. Star Trek Guy. Now, if you guys don't know who this guy is, obviously I'll put this back up because he's got his handle there at Star Trek Guy TikTok. I know he's on Facebook as well, but he's massive on Instagram, but he's massive on TikTok. Yeah. That's kind of where it started and where he's cultivated. To me, this guy, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's so passionate about Star Trek. And every day he's there. Any little bit of news, he can't wait to fill us in. In fact, I find out most of my news through this guy, basically. But he's so generous as well. He gives out prizes.
Oh, he's in the room with us today.
Is he?
Yeah, and he's emotionally... There he is!
Hey,
Well, that wasn't planned, but I'm super thrilled that he is.
Yeah.
And he's emotionally connected to this material so deeply and reminds me of all of us, how deeply we are connected. So I got to say, and I think we all agreed straight away, Star Trek Guy is absolutely an awesome Star Trek fan. Now, guys, there you go, Joe. You've opened it up. How come you have that?
I got that because I got it from Star Trek Guy. It's one
there
of the
we
people
go.
I wanted to meet. I was in one of the runnings and I won, and it came ironically on my birthday. So
even better.
I
That
actually
really
won
worked well.
the Lower Decks Tom Paris plate. I was his first winner when he started doing giveaway Fridays.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
Star Trek Guy gave me a kidney.
Yes.
I don't know where he got it, but he gave it to me. I didn't even need it.
But I sold it. Now I got a new car.
But he's
We all
such
kind of
a...
one up on each other.
Yeah. But he's such a sweet, wonderful, passionate guy. I think there is... what can you say? There's nothing negative about this guy except I'm jealous of how many toys he owns versus how little I own. Because you just look at his background and it's chock-a-block. I was about to say another word then. It's chock-a-block full of goodness.
What does that mean?
Chock-a-block?
Yeah, what is it? What?
You Americans, look it up. Any
I'm
Australians
looking it up.
watching, do I even have to say anything, really?
Yeah, you do.
It means full of.
Oh.
Okay.
Chock-a-block.
That sounds like you're gonna.
What is wrong with your country?
Yeah,
I don't know. Can you point at it at a map? Because most of you guys can't.
Hey,
I don't know. It's like the big snowy one at the bottom, isn't it?
That's right. It's down there somewhere.
Hey,
It's the one that you touch and your finger comes back and it's all bloody.
And poison. And poison. Don't forget about the poison.
Yeah. No, let's seriously, guys. We all agree, right? Let's give Star Trek Guy a massive round of applause for just being awesome.
Yay, Star Trek Guy.
He's a really great guy. He's awesome.
He really is.
35.
Now, also, what's behind? We also remind everybody. I'm going to bring it up now. We decided to. A lot of things I was noticing recently in fandom were not rubbing well with me. I had started seeing things being said about Discovery, which seemed really odd, even though I have issues with it, but it seemed very hateful. Joe, you mentioned that actress last week. She just copped abuse. No problem, Star Trek Guy. Thanks, Joe, for ebbing my flow there.
No, I'm just
yeah. So what I'm trying to say is there was a lot of negativity around Star Trek, and I think sometimes unwarranted. And I thought, when you first started getting into Star Trek, all you wanted to do was share everyone. What happened to that feeling? Why did we start? So I decided to do something called No Toxic Trek. And I tell you what, it has been taken up. It has been absolutely adopted by some very lovely people out there. They know who they are. And again, it's not about anything individual because I keep getting asked, what's this all about? It's about what it is. Let's take the hate out of everything that we love.
Yeah.
Maybe if we kind of try and be like some of the principles of what Star Trek is in regards to respecting other fans, we may have a better environment. And that's what it's all about. And Star Trek Guy exemplifies that. And that was the first episode of Awesome Star Trek Fan. I don't need to play it again. There we go.
We get it.
All right, let's move on to the game show element. Hey, so was anything?
Who wants to
Is
look
anything?
at stuff that I got to pay for? Yay!
Well, is there anything anyone wanted to mention before as I get this set up? Because I actually didn't set it up. Just
I
quickly.
actually want to say I forgot a big pro this week, and that was
Oh,
the
do it.
return of Pelia.
Oh
Because
yeah.
the whole
Oh,
idea that the
yes.
archaeology department was this crappy antique store
Yes.
that she owned and was selling all of these things that she had stolen.
I can't believe we
throughout
didn't
her
mention
long-
it. She was so good in that episode too.
She was
Yeah,
amazing.
she was. Yeah, I can't believe
Yeah.
it. Oh, damn it.
She
Yeah,
did
just
nail it.
I loved the payoff to that. Like, I just found these at the archaeology department. Oh yeah, the crappy antique store that you owned. Yeah, good job, Pelia. Good job. I love her so much. I don't want her to leave.
No, she was really great. And I kind of liked that they tried to explain, like, they didn't give away what the real deal is. They never actually specifically said, we're actually from the future.
Yeah.
And da-da-da. They kind of worked around it, which was kind of cool as well.
Yeah.
I like the fact she wasn't an engineer yet, and that kind of blew a hole in their plan.
Yeah.
An engineer? I'm not an engineer yet.
And is that one of those Back to the
Detail.
Future moments, like the Chuck Berry moment? Oh, listen
Yeah.
to this. Like, I'm
Oh,
now going to
yeah.
learn to become an engineer.
Yeah.
I just want to see an episode sometime in the future where Pelia is talking about her past, going, "Yeah, I wasn't going to be an engineer, but then somebody inspired me to become what?"
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Nuh-uh?
Sarah's on it.
Set her on the- yeah,
Sarah's
she
got
did.
it all sorted. Yeah.
She put her on.
I think that's great. Yeah. Hey, that also, did you not think when she walked in the last time to the bridge, did you look at Pelia? Because I wonder if she looked at her like, I know you.
I was trying to see that, but
Yeah.
I couldn't. tell.
I didn't catch that.
I
think
don't
so?
know.
understood the idea. I'm
She-
just saying I didn't see any looks that kind of.
Yeah, she says something in the past about she's terrible remembering faces, so I think
Yeah.
that's how they covered themselves.
Okay. All
Oh,
right.
way out. We wrote ourselves out. All right, next segment.
Let's go for Name That Trekisode.
It's time for Name That Trekisode. The hell is that?
Would you like?
Now, we're all out of order this week, so I have to remove you, Joe. I have to remove room. Me, now we're here. Then
Everybody
we got the man, Jason, and here comes Annie, and there's
have you-
Maria, and finally, the queen herself, Nita.
There we go.
All right, now, can
Would
you
like
tell
me to
us?
Tell you who has who?
Yeah.
Yes, please, Nita.
All new people, I hope.
Yes, all the people have been
Okay, great.
randomly selected.
hmm
Okay, so Joe, you will be paired up with Claudia,
Oh, okay.
and I will have holodeck 4.
Okay.
Holodeck 4.
Favorites, Nita?
Jason, Texas Jason will be paired up with Star Trek Guy.
Oh,
Hey.
Star Trek guys gonna
Navia.
win.
So they're winning again. Yep.
Navia
never
will
won
be
anything.
paired up with Philip Bryan,
All right.
Great.
and
Hey.
and Annie will have United Federation of Planets.
All right.
Okay, all right. So, in case you don't know how this game works, right next to me here we have an image that's been blurred out from a screen capture from an episode of last season's Strange New Worlds.
Okay.
So there it is. And so what's going to happen over 30 seconds? It's slowly going to come into focus and depixelate. And the first one who recognised what episode this image is from has to give me a good old Aussie oi. And then they have to guess it. Now, I'll also, if you don't know what the name is, but you give me a really great description of the episode, I might let you go. All right, so let's get started. Is everybody ready for Name That Trekisode?
It's time to.
No, we've already played the
No,
intro,
no,
Joe. We don't
no,
need you to do it again, buddy.
No.
Don't. Here we go, guys.
It's time. No.
Don't. Pay attention. Here we go.
All right.
What episode from Strange New Worlds from last season is this image. It's a tricky one this week. I made it hard on purpose.
Oh, good.
Evil.
You got me. Sorry, whoever's paired with me, which is the running.
Oh, I think I've stumped everyone this week.
Oi.
Oh, that's
Okay,
Admiral
Annie.
This
Annie.
is
Sorry?
from the Kylie 89 episode. This is oh my god, what is the I don't know
Oh,
the name of the episode.
You're
but
gonna
they
kick
go
yourself
down-
when you know the episode's name.
I know.
I'm giving
You are. Think about it. Well, can you tell me where it was in the season at least?
It
What
was in the very
episode?
beginning. This was either I think it was the pilot episode. They go down to the planet. The planet is at civil war with each other.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
create
it's the first
war
episode.
bomb.
I'm gonna give it to you, Annie.
Okay,
Of
there you go.
course.
Can I say the name of the episode,
You
though?
please, and I'll click it on the screen at the same time.
Strange New Worlds.
It is Strange New Worlds, episode 1.
I can't
Season
believe
I'm
one.
it.
sorry, Star Trek guy. I brain farted.
Yeah. Who won? Annie, who did you
Right.
win for?
United
Yeah.
Federation of
Yeah.
Planets.
Wow,
United
that's
Federation of Planets. Fantastic.
Hey,
Congratulations.
In America, United Federation of Planets?
No,
No.
Don't worry, Joe will take care of postage.
I did sign up for this.
He did sign up for that. And that was, of course, Name That Trek.
Name that trick so.
That
Just real
was Name That Trekisode.
Yeah, that seems to be the thing. Just redo the bumper, just re-say it.
Matt,
Are we ready? Because I ain't finished yet. Because the next
Oh,
thing is
This is the
stupid
longest.
Star Trek questions.
Yes.
It's time for stupid Star Trek questions.
It's time
Before we
for
get into
stupid Star Trek questions.
before we get into this,
That's I'm gonna love that accent, Chase. Yeah,
make jokes.
make Joe spend money. That's what it's all about. I tell you.
I told Joe to get that pole dancing job on the side.
Oh, no,
You
I,
don't listen.
I have a good job.
You got to
I'm
work that pole
I got-
sometimes.
good.
That's
We
just
have
life.
My co-host
That's
was the
right,
pole
Boo.
dancing, not me.
Okay, now can I actually do the question? I'm going to do the question now, guys.
Sorry.
Here we go. I'm going to keep this mad tag group in control
keep them
somehow.
in control.
All right, we got a couple of good ones. We got 2 this week, so let's start with the first one, which actually comes from Aaron Sugar.
Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron. Okay, this is. I think he's cheated this year because this is actually a smart question. Does a trill joining with a symbiont after the host DNA in such a way that it would affect any offspring? In other words, would it matter if conception/gestation took place before or after the joining? And would it matter if the mother or the father or both that were joined? So, did everyone confused with that?
No, I understand.
No,
what
you
he
get
meant.
it?
I got it.
It's a good question.
Very
Who's got an
excellent
answer?
Yeah.
I think Annie should answer it.
Annie looked confused. She was like trying to read it
Talk
again.
about it. Yeah, talk
I
about
say
it.
I don't think it matters.
Oh,
I don't think it
doesn't
matters.
matter.
I don't think so.
Why?
I
Why
don't
doesn't
know.
it matter?
I just don't, because the person is like already formed, right? When they join with the symbiont, like when we see them, they seem like they're of a certain age. Like it's not like they joined before, like in utero or whatever. So like that person's DNA should be like already fully formed in my guesstimation. But I'm also not like a trill doctor, so I don't know.
Oh, you're not?
Because that's the question. Would it really like affect does the DNA of the trill that joins with the symbiont create new DNA? And then is that new DNA then passed on to if they got
But
pregnant?
even if it did, at this point, they've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
Can they even tell the difference without going back before joining and seeing DNA before joining of
The
an
dots may
entire...
have good sign.
Yeah.
If the kid's got dots, it might be a no. That doesn't really matter either, does it?
Or maybe it's one of those things like, because if you like it, then you should have put a worm in it.
Joe, get out.
Beyonce song.
Get out,
Get out.
Joe, get
If
out.
you want, then you gotta put a worm.
Can anyone tell me why he's captain? Really?
And my ship is the caliente. Yeah, this is who's leading us.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There you go.
All right, we got the answer for that one. Let's move on to number 2. Yes, please, fire. Fire at will. Okay, stupid Star Trek question number 2 this week. That's a really good question.
That was a good question.
And I don't think we were smart enough to answer it, to be honest with you. But let's see if we can answer the next one.
Yes, that was easy.
Which is from Devon. We love Devon. Devon's got a stupid Star Trek question. Why is the ability to travel faster than light the deciding factor in making first contact? Why aren't other factors like their society or environmental factors also considered?
These aren't
a good
stupid questions. These are good.
These are great questions.
I have a theory on this.
Go.
The reason why they choose light speed or faster than light speed travel is the same reason why you go in for cancer screenings. It's because it's not that, oh, we're going to welcome you into this wonderful galaxy with all these wonderful friendly neighbors. It's, we want to keep an eye on you now, and we want you to know that we're here in case you decide to cause trouble.
You know what's funny? I'm thinking of a different answer to that in the same ideal. Hey, you've got faster than light speed technology. There's some badass Romulans over there. We're going to need you to help us beat them.
I actually think it is more of a, are you a threat?
Yeah.
Are you a threat to the balance of the universe?
Again, I think that there's a combination of it, right? I think that there is a sense of, well, okay, they've got faster than light speed. They can travel right alongside of us. Let's go there before someone who is considered the villain, like Romulans or, Suliban.
Not the
whatever,
Romulans again.
Come and influence this culture and ruin their further development. Let's show them that you can have a utopia-like peace and live in harmony.
No, we just want a bigger fleet, yo. Come on.
No, let's be honest. If the Vulcans landed on the Gorn homeworld as soon as they achieved warp speed, they'd be like, "Hi, we're the Vulcans. We're happy to meet you. I'm sorry, you grow your babies where?"
Yeah, exactly. I like this comment from our good buddy Sarah Andrews. I think Joe and Jace are right. We need to make them their allies before they become our enemies.
Yeah.
Happy mediums. Happy mediums are always good. All right. Anybody else?
No one else has got anything? Well, guess what, guys? That was the end of another stupid Star Trek question. Join us next week for more stupid Star Trek questions.
All right, and that wraps up another wonderful episode with all of my friends in the Captains Quadrant, all of my friends hanging out in the chat of the Captains Quadrant. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to check out our Mark Cartier interview from the Shuttle Pod show. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of big laughs with Mark. We got him to chuckle quite a bit, and I appreciate my good buddy Jason Roy Gaston for joining me in that conversation with Mark. And we are not done because we have another special guest coming up. So stay tuned. That guest will be revealed next Thursday. Isn't that right?
It's a good one, too. It's a good one.
It's a really good one. So this is going to be amazing. And that is the brand. Well, it's the rebranded Section 31 and a half because we have questions. All right. So for everyone here,
we can make you talk.
Oh, by the way, don't forget stupid Star Trek questions. Please keep submitting them, guys.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, you can hit them down after the show's over. Don't put them here because they disappear and we don't go back. So you can put. So Claudia wants to know. This is a stupid Star Trek question. How many cats are there?
There are currently 4.
Wow.
4 cats.
There are 5.
You were
wrong. I'm trying to find a home for one of them, but I'm going to have at least 3. There are 4 cats.
There are 5. You have to one. All right. Until next week, check out that interview. Come back. Make sure you subscribe. Please do all those fun things, and we will talk to you next time. Check out SpectrumSanctorum.net for all of our podcast merch. We have an entire merch store ready to give you all the things that you loved about our podcast. And get notified on all of our socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and our Spectrum Sanctorum merch store. Follow us today and be sure to hit that L when you're watching our YouTube videos so you can be notified of when a new episode releases.